Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. Today with us we have Sujal Thakur. Sujal has recently cracked an internship at Deloitte. So, hi Sujal, and how are you feeling?
Hi Ash, thanks for inviting me. And yeah, I'm feeling good. It feels awesome because over 22,000 students have signed up for this contest, and 22,000, it's a pretty big number.
Hmm.
Because I have been in classes where only 60 people used to attend it, and it still felt crowded. So yeah, it is an entirely different feeling to make it to the top 15 teams.
So, congratulations for that. And in this video, we'll be talking about your entire journey and also we'll be talking about you. So, let's begin with your introduction itself. What year do you study in? What's your college? And what has your journey been from your first year up to your third year?
So yeah, I'm a third year IT student from VIT Pune, and I'm the sponsorship head at IEEE VIT Pune, and I co-founded a club with a few of my friends in my first year itself, called as Sarthi, and I was also the host of our freshers party, and I have been playing cricket and even represented Maharashtra at a decent level, and I was also a part of VIT Pune in my first year itself. And I go to the gym. I also used to do powerlifting. So apart from studies, I think I've covered everything that I did in my college life. And to be honest, first year me was very excited. I was very confident and I was very clueless about everything. I didn't know what to do. But to be honest, I think is the correct energy for first year. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hmm.
Okay, so now let's talk about your hackathon journey, which is the main topic of this video. So first tell us about what the hackathon was and what are the different stages of the hackathon, and later we'll also talk about your project and your team.
Okay, so therefore, Hacksplosion is the nationwide hackathon which is conducted by Deloitte every year. So this year's hackathon mainly revolved around their Gen WAI platform, which they had created recently, and it basically consisted of 5 rounds and 3 levels initially. So the process is fairly well thought, in my opinion. And the first level involved an individual process where you basically have to upload a resume and give a basic quiz around their platform. Then the second level is where you have to form a team of around 3 to 5 people from your college itself, and then identify a problem statement which was given by them and submit your solution blueprint around it. So this leads to the another round, the virtual pitching session. So here you present the solution to the judges, and they make it. And if you make it through this round, you get the architect badge, which is from Deloitte. And after this, finally, after all these rounds, you go to the grand finale. So in this year, the top 10 teams were invited to Bangalore, and they had to present their solution in front of the judges, and that's where the big awards and job prospects lie. But we made it all the way through level 2, and we also made it to the top 15 teams across the country. Unfortunately, we weren't able to travel to Bangalore, and because we just fell short of that. However, top 15 got internship offers, which was our reward, and I'm more than happy to take that.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
just a follow-up question, what would be the difficulty level of the previous stages, like before the actual hackathon begins? What would you rate it out of 10?
Uh, it's basically your will to participate and win the hackathon. Hackathons aren't win during the process. It all depends on your attitude and opinion and point of view towards the hackathon. You just have to go with the mindset that you own the room, you own the hackathon. Because honestly, I have participated in more than 40 hackathons and I've won only 15 out of them. Usually people see those golden aspect that, oh my god, he has won 15, 20, 30 hackathons, but they don't see that the sample size is so big that I have participated in more than 30, 40, 45 hackathons, and then out of those 40 I have won in the 14 or 15 handpicked hackathons.
Right.
So yeah, your mindset matters a lot.
Okay. And throughout your journey for this particular hackathon, uh, you mentioned that there were multiple rounds. So let's take a deep dive in each of the rounds. Like for example, most of the hackathons have a PPT submission round after that prototype building round. So you can tell us about your team and how did you distribute the work and what kind of projects did you build?
Okay, so our team consists of 5 students, including me. We had Neeraj, I had Karthik, I had Ansh, and there was one called Purva. Yeah. So I hope I'm not missing out someone. So in the first round, as I said, after forming the team, we basically had to choose a problem statement. Our problem statement basically revolved around hospital referral and triage system, and it was a serious problem which was broken down into steps for those who have experience dealing with Indian hospitals. We all know what is the condition of healthcare in India. So hospitals are very indented with paperwork. They have to go through a lot of things before referring a patient to the next hospital or something like that. And I could, in fact, personally relate to this problem because when my father got accident, it took time for the doctors and the hospital and the management to get him through another hospital, which worsened his situation. So we developed a platform which was an AI-based solution on the GenWAI platform. It basically automated the entire referral process. Where the patient comes in, the doctor will input all the information, and the AI basically according the severity of the problem which is the patient is facing, to routing it to writing the referral letter to the next hospital. And it was basically based on the ability and the credit score that we are going to give to that doctor. So you would be surprised to know the time that we had cut down. Usually, this whole process would take around 38 to 45 hours, which is a lot. And we are basically cutting it down to legitimate 1.5 to 2 minutes. It
Okay.
is, yeah, 2 minutes is more than anything that you would require to do the all process.
So basically, your project is about streamlining medical pipeline, if I could say it as a pipeline, where the
Yeah, you
patient
can.
comes in and there is a lot of formalities that need to be done by the doctors and the patients. So you all are technically automating that to a very large extent.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and did you do any on-ground research for this, or did you just use ChatGPT's ideas?
I was coming to that. So, as we are engineering students, we don't know much about the ground reality of what hospital conditions are in India today. So, even before starting about the brainstorming and everything, we had actually went to 4 doctors across Pune and Mumbai cities, in which 2 were MDs and 2 were physicians, where we sat and talked to them. We had a very huge discussion about what is the problem in India today. And after that, we brainstormed the idea and we came up with this idea. We had cross checked this idea with them. They were really impressed with our solution and how it could benefit to the medical industry to a large extent. So, and this reflected in our presentation as well. We did not assume the problem, but we heard it straight from the source.
Okay, that's really great. I think it must have, shown your team as something unique
Yeah,
or
that's true.
displayed it as in a unique way. So now let's talk about the judging criteria. According to you, or let's generalize a bit, I would say. If somebody next year would be participating in the hackathon, what would be your tips to them and what hacks you can share with them to, get shortlisted in a better way? Maybe you have observed that requirements of these judges are a little bit different compared to regular hackathons. So, what are your insights?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the right person who should be answering all of this. I'm just a third year student still exploring a lot of things. But as a senior, there are a few things which I would generally like to address to them. So the first thing will be your first hackathon doesn't have to be a stellar. It shouldn't be like you just go out there and you have to win it. I remember my first college level hackathon, where it was a project competition where you have to showcase your project. So I had won that competition. Basically, I came into the top five, and I got a consolation prize. So it wasn't even my project. I just borrowed it from my friend a day before. I just went there for exposure and to get a gist of things, how they work. So yeah, so this taught me that you should get started no matter what. Start anywhere, start badly if you want. It doesn't matter. You just have to get to the starting point and keep grinding. And the second is ideas don't win hackathons. Execution does. You can do a lot of brainstorming. You'll say like, I'll do this, I'll make this, but it won't matter until and unless you execute it. I have seen ideas that were incredibly brilliant, but it failed due to the fact that the team could not demonstrate it. Even after making the solution, if you're not being able to present your solution to the judges, it won't count. It simply just it will be like garbage. It won't matter. So the story behind your solution matters as much as the solution itself. So you should feel to the problem statement. I gave it a personal touch. In my case, I just told the judges, I told the interviewers, everything, that how could I relate to this problem and how actually it would benefit to me if the solution was there present in that particular phase of time. So the third would be validate your idea. As I said, we physically went to see the doctors. We validated our idea from them. So this is what actually matters, and you will also get to know different point of view for your solution. And the fourth point will be do not underestimate the power of presentation. I've lost hackathons when I was sure at technical, like I had covered all the technical aspects of that problem statement, but I couldn't win due to, as I said, I wasn't able to present my solution to the judges.
Hmm.
So that is what matters a lot. And fifth will be hackathon judges are people, they are not compilers. So you just have to explain it to them in a point of view like you're pitching your own product to them. Like you can take an example of if you have watched Shark Tank India, Shark Tank USA. So you're not just going there to present it technically. You should simplify it for the judges according to their needs, so that they understand what problem you're actually solving. So
Right.
yeah, and psychological safety is important within teams. You should divide the work amongst yourself in a good way. It shouldn't be like if there's a team of five members and all of five of them are web developers. It's not going to help. One should be fluent with the back end. One should know good front end. And there should be one guy who is good at presentation. It the team should be uh, it formed from bits and pieces basically.
Right. One thing that I would also agree to is that hackathons are more of a presentation thing than building products or projects because that's what they already do. They have multiple teams in their engineering department for that. So it's more of your ideas.
Exactly.
So let's also talk about your, you have participated in multiple hackathons, like I think 15 plus.
Yeah, I have participated in more than 40 hackathons and
Okay.
I won 15 out of them.
Okay.
So yeah, like I have been to over 40 hackathons, as I said, and won about 15. You can do the math. Most of my experience is based on failure because success wouldn't sh- give you those teachings which failures would give you. It
Hmm.
is the best form of learning, I feel.
Hmm.
And I feel because someone else had a better pitch, or sometimes it was just the matter of luck. Luck also matters a lot, and luck favors the brave. So you build your own fortune. So I had already accepted that. I just go these days. I just go out there and do it for the sake of doing, for the sake of learning, and to get exposure around it.
Hmm.
And every time I fail, I learn something new. It's not like we are just 20, 21. We
Right.
have a lot of life ahead in front of us.
Hmm.
So you should always go out there from the perspective of learning. Then
Okay.
you'll learn a lot of things and you can implement those things in later phase of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
So just one more question, then we have only philosophical questions left. So
Okay.
for this question, let's say somebody who has already entered their second year or third year, and they also have this hackathon, the same hackathon by Deloitte, because I think it happens almost every year, if not
Hmm.
every year. So, what would you suggest to them? Because team building is also something that was not there from the beginning. There were qualifiers, individual qualifiers for that. So, what would be your mistakes, or your point of failures during the hackathon which you had to improvise, but if somebody already knew that they could do much better, what would you say to that?
Okay, so I'm a very extrovert kind of a person, and I know each and every person in the college,
Hmm.
be it whether they are from first year, second year, third year, fourth year, no matter what. I even talk to the peons, I even talk to the watchmen, I talk to every person that I meet.
Hmm.
So that helped me a lot because the all the ones who have participated in the Hacksplosion's first round, all of them were my friends. And the funny part is, when the results were announced for the second round, which is when we were supposed to form the team. I was just landing from, I was in a 2 hour flight. And when I landed, I had at least 15 to 20 missed calls from my friends, different friends to form a team. So I had to choose and decide between them. And I was very fortunate and lucky enough to get a team which I had now, like Neeraj, Karthik, Purva, Ansh, and I'm really glad that I formed a team with all of these people. So if you're not like obviously that's not the case every time. You have to choose from what you get. So just keep in mind how is your relationship with that person, how good you bond with each other, because that bonding is what matters. Technical and all the aspects can be covered in later phase of the hackathons. You know, if you are a technical person, you just need a team who will do as you say. And if you're not a technical kind of a person, if you are someone who's good at presentation, just find a technical team who goes to hackathons, who need a person who uh, presents good solutions. So you just need to find your own way. You should know where you stand and what requirements do you have. So you should work accordingly. And coming to your Deloitte's question, so again next year Deloitte will again come. So you just need to be prepared. You just have a good CGPA year long. You should be doing DSA. Like it is not mandatory for Deloitte, but I'm talking about usual placements. You should have a good CGPA. Keep grinding DSA. You should know all the core subjects. And few of the good companies which gives good package have started asking system design as well. So you should know a bit of low level design as well.
Okay, and my second last question is that what are your next goals? This I ask to everyone who comes, so this is for
Okay.
you. So,
So I'm just looking forward to have a good internship at Deloitte. And currently, I'm doing three things basically. First is DSA, second is system design, and third is job hunting, off campus job hunting. I have been applying to a number of companies since second year,
hmm.
but I have rarely given any OA. Like I have given a few OA, and I've also been to second, third, fourth level rounds of many good MNCs. But yeah, so these are my three-headed monster of choices:
Okay.
DSA, system design, and internship. And currently, I'm studying, like, I'm solving DSA questions through the Strivers A to Z and SD sheet. I have solved more than 200, 300 questions from the A to Z sheet. Now I've shifted to SDE sheet. It doesn't matter how many questions you solve, you should have a better understanding of problems. You should be able to recognize patterns. And yeah, and I'll also start giving contests now. I know I'm very late to this, but those of you who are in your first year or even in your second year, start as early as you can. There's no going back. Once you start doing DSA, you'll love solving the questions. Your problem solving ability will increase. And yeah, I'm hoping to do more than participate in more than 50 hackathons.
Yeah.
And before my fourth year ends, before my graduation ends, I'm seeking to win more than 20 or 30 hackathons, which is a very large number. I know I'm being delusional, but yeah, and I'm also looking to grab a very good. Like Deloitte is obviously a very good company. I'm not denying about that, but I'm still. You should always keep thriving for more. You should have that hunger, and I think I'm seeing myself coming again to your podcast and telling my journey of how I cracked a 30 or 40 LPA company in near future.
Definitely. One last question that came to my mind is, was there any interviews or selection process for the top teams, or is it that they choose any team that they like based on idea and presentation?
So according to what they had said, it was written that the top 10 teams or whichever teams will go to Bangalore, they'll get internship offer from Deloitte. So there were top 10, so there were 10 teams who got selected for the final round. So all of them were offered a internship. But after a few days, we got a mail from them as well. So I guess top 13, 14 or 15, let's take a vague count. Top 15 teams were offered internship offer from their side, summer internship.
Hmm.
So no, there was no interview process for this. And the team which came first, I know them personally. That team was from Cummins. Congratulations to them, by the way. They got 1.5 lakh rupees, and they were also offered a full-time job in Deloitte.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
crazy. I think
yeah,
you have
that
answered
is.
most of the questions. So this is the very last section of the video where you can share anything that you like. I think you have shared most of the stuff that you wanted to, but any last words from your end?
I think I've covered all the technical aspects. I would just like to tell all of my juniors that, you know, if I could go back to my first year, and if I meet the Sujal of first year, I just tell him, chill, enjoy your life, enjoy your college life, make as many friends as you can, make a lot of memories, because these days are the golden period of your life. You're going to remember them forever, and keep good grades as well, because you're going to need that for placement. Not You are not supposed to just go out there and have fun, because at the end of the day you have to work for your food, so you have to make good money as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, throughout all of that, I just kept getting better. I did a lot of things. I spent time playing cricket. I used to go out on bike rides. I used to go on rides. I used to go on trekking. So yeah, just enjoy your college life. Don't, stress yourself regarding placements and everything. Just enjoy the process. If you enjoy what you're doing, I can guarantee you that you are going to make it to the top. You're going The top 1% doesn't, you don't take it as a challenge. अरे रुको, वापस बोलता हूँ ये वाला पार्ट काट के वापस से बोलता हूँ. You should surround yourself with right people, not only the ones who enjoy themselves or enjoy, you just keep enjoying the college life, do all the rubbish stuff. I mean, you're supposed to do that. You're engineers, but at the end of the day, it's about earning, it's about getting better in life. So you should keep thriving for best, keep do all the fun, have all the fun in your life that you can, make friends, make memories, and yeah, keep good grades, and all the best to my juniors. And if you need anything, you can definitely reach out to me anytime. Yeah, you can drop out my number and LinkedIn in the description if you want.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sujal, for coming for today's episode. I hope to have you again back soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Harsh. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you all know, but Harsh Mehta has been selected for GSOC. Congratulations to you, Harsh.
Thanks, man.
Maybe I'll maybe we'll reverse our positions for that. How because the audience deserve to know how you got into GSOC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, man. So
Okay.
I'll add your LinkedIn profile to the description of the video, and in case
Get up
anybody
as well.
wants to ask anything, you can just DM Sujal. Thanks. Bye
Sure.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys. Take care.